all of the rest of the Edible Spirit experiencers on YouTube. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this Edible Spirit Live new moon transmission for the new moon in Pisces. One of my dear beloved Serbian friends is a Pisces, but she would tell you that she's a Pisces, not a Pisces. Oh, and my favorite Virgo just joined as well. Hi, everyone. What a party. And hi to you beautiful experienced subscribers chilling at home. Welcome. So if you guys have been here before, you will know that this is something that we do every 2 weeks. We do a new moon and moon transmission from Edible Spirit as part of the Edible Spirit Experience. This is the new subscription service from Edible Spirit that is basically a digital spiritual practice, so that for a very low monthly price, you can tune in whenever we tell you we're going live and basically have no spiritual FOMO, because we've hit all of the sun cycles, the moon cycles. We bring you weekly readings. We've done a channeling moment where we channeled live for everyone. And we even did, John Arthur Hill, a call-in show where members of the experience called in to get free readings. Delicious, oh, thank you. Delicious readings. So all sorts of ways to connect throughout the month. And some of the great stuff that people have been saying is like, whoa, it's like as soon as I'm wondering, what do I do now? There's another stream happening, another transmission, another event, another moment. So we offer these new moon transmissions to the general public so that you guys can see and know and feel and hear everything that the cool kids are doing as part of the Edible Spirit experience. In all seriousness, we started this because even though we've been doing readings for more than a decade now, there was always this feeling of like, I'm missing the moment. I'm missing the alignment. I don't know what to do. What is this moon about? What's going on? And now as the zeitgeist of all of the spiritual entrepreneurs are zhuzhing up into existence and through the roof, it can become even more challenging to keep track of what's going on and when. This is why we gather regularly in synchronization with the sun and the moon, so that we can align with these cosmic moments and get the mojo from the moments, get personally relevant power from totally objective, natural, nature, celestial, cosmic experiences. And so one of the easiest ways to do that is to align with the lunar cycles. Every 2 weeks, new moon in Pisces. That's what's happening tomorrow morning, Wednesday, the 6th of March at 8:04 a.m. on the West Coast, 11:04 on the East Coast. Do the math for everywhere else. And new moons generally are a wonderful time to set patterns, to set programs, to set intentions, to focus on manifestation, on what you're going to be working with throughout the month, right? And what are the new patterns that you want to create, right, in the name of the new moon. And this new moon actually has a lot of other bullshit going along with it, which is why we're here for a new moon transmission. By this time tomorrow, I believe Mercury will be retrograde. Ring, ding, ding, ding. For 3 weeks in the sign of Pisces. Hi, Marianne. I love you. It's going to be retrograde in 3 weeks, for 3 weeks in the sign of Pisces. So new moon in Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and the other thing we have today by way of intuitive astrology is that Chiron is in Aries. And when does Uranus go into Taurus? Here we are. Uranus is now freshly in Taurus. Is that the case? It will be by tomorrow. It'll be at 0 degrees Taurus. Holy bejesus. So basically this This moment of the new moon, well, what we do is we're going to do a discussion about the astrology, new moon astrology, which is where we're about to go. Tarot readings for all of the elements, which includes all of the signs. So earth, air, water, fire, and ether. So stay tuned for that. And then little suggestions for what to do regarding ritual to align with this magical moment of the new moon. And it's a big deal because the way we're reading this, okay, very intuitively, we have a chart printed. We're not even going to look at the chart just because we want to stay focused and not overwhelmed with astrological details. This is what's coming through the ka-chunka, chunka, chunka, chunka channel. Okay. So the new moon in Pisces is the opportunity that we are all gathering right now to seize. An opportunity to set intentions in the realm of dissolving, healing, floating, swimming, drowning, feeling, sensing, exchanging, merging, dissolving, diluting. It's this very like, what do we do with all this fucking Pisces energy, right? Well, the new moon would be like, well, acknowledge the Pisces energy, develop a relationship to that Pisces energy, and set the intention to carry that relationship through the next 2 weeks, right? It's not an incredibly tall order, but that's what this new moon moment is all about. What are we doing with all of this? Have you been feeling this? Have you been feeling this? Have you been feeling this? Saturation of experience. So much. We just recorded the Elements of Spirit readings, and it was a really beautiful, interesting way that those readings shared this. It's like water can be poisonous and stinky and fetid and rancid, or it can be completely cleansing or fountain of youthing, right? Magical, divine, right? So Pisces, as this epic sign of water, brings in all of it, brings in all of the toxicity. You know, if you ever stop to think about how much crap is in like salt water in the ocean, right? Don't do it when you're in the water. But the idea is like, even with all that shit in it, salt water still like heals a zit and like makes your bones feel good. And the ions help, you know. If there's dookie in it, you know, it's not going to be great. But point is that even if there's stuff you don't want in the water, water brings you what you need gently and easily. And over time, it can erode a rock. It can dissolve, you know, anything. And so that's how we're reading this moment of Pisces, of the Pisces new moon, is that since Pisces season started, since the sun moved in there around February 19th up until now, and then peaking and cresting, you know, over the course of the next couple weeks, we're getting all of the healing, whether we want it or not. And we're getting saturated with healing, whether we want it to be saturating or not. And the thing is that healing might feel oppressive and drowning and terrible as it's coming on. But then as it recedes and as it passes, we are galvanized anew, right? We're fresh. And then we get to start Aries season hot, right? Freshly reborn, super, super hot. So, love you guys. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what's actually happening. So the question is, oh, wait, what is the question? That is the question. I think this is going to come up for ritual later. How to deal with all this agua. So another way we've been saying this English translation is that the last few weeks and the next few weeks are all about getting healing that you need, even if you don't want it, and getting healing that you need gently and almost surreptitiously. And the function of Pisces to like screw with your vision so that you get what you need when you're looking in a different direction. Because like, let's say, you know, this stick lighter has all of the medicine that I need in this little flame. But if the last cycle of the zodiac just has me like obsessing over the handle, Pisces season would come in and be like, oh, what is a handle? What is a lighter? What is a flame? Ow! Oh, that's hot. That's interesting. Pisces. Wow. Ooh, I wonder what I can do with this. ooh. And then it's like time goes by in this place. And then before we know it, Pisces season is over and we're just holding a flame. And now it's a tool. And now there's no water. And now something can be done. See? Okay. So that's the vibe of Pisces. We'll come back to that with stuff in a little bit. But Mercury retrograde in Pisces, starting now and then lasting over the course of the next couple of weeks, it's gonna help. It's gonna undo, hi cuties, it's gonna undo all of the mental patterning, all of the calcified shit around healing and connection and oneness and unity and all of that mojo. It's like, what's preventing all of us from existentially and energetically like floating in a big tub together? You know, why is our society and our humanity based on the idea of like getting somewhere and doing something and being someone and having something? Why couldn't the standard be to create a world in which everyone just felt like they were chilling in the hot tub all the time? And it's cool. Like someone goes and gets a drinks, you know, while everybody else is in the hot tub, gets water. Someone else gets a towel. It's like, you can't stay in a hot tub for fucking ever. You know, you get pruny and waterlogged, you know, but the ideal of being in the tub and being in that warmth together, like a blob, all of us. That's what Pisces comes to remind us about, how good that would feel, how yummy that would feel, you know? And again, that basic unity, Pisces also represents the void in that respect. It represents that basic unity that underlies everything. That after we get through the whole zodiac, what else is there to do but like release into that unity until time passes, and then we're reborn in Aries, the sign of the individual. You see, so Pisces in that respect is the void, is the underworld, is the river Styx, you know, is all of that, is the dark, right? And letting ourselves go into the darkness in order to come back. So the theory is that the Mercury retrograde, which starts tomorrow, the 6th, is going to be dissolving all of the patterns that we have in place to kind of prevent that merginess, that Pisces tub, that warmth, that communion, that relaxation and releasing into the void. Another couple of my friends were talking about being time warriors. They recommended this book about, you know, time warrior, about how to live in nonlinear time. It's a great exercise for Pisces season, how to get things done without like traditional goals and deadlines. It's a wonderful question for Pisces season, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. And so the theory is that Mercury retrograde in Pisces would draw attention to all of the patterns, beliefs, and behaviors, mental behaviors and dynamics that are in place that need some kind of irrigation, that need to be like flooded and you know, flooding the dam and then letting it all kind of resettle. Experience members, definitely check out your Elements of Spirit for this week, because all of this Pisces stuff, those are going to get posted tomorrow. All of this Pisces stuff is coming up in there in really intimate, direct ways. What else? Yeah, you know what? Chiron is in Aries, Uranus is in Taurus. Those are important, but I don't want to say too much about them. It's more so just that, because it did come through in the beginning, it's more so that this Pisces new moon is a chance to set the new tone for the next couple weeks. Mercury retrograde is going to carry the kind of cognitive and mental understanding, the lessons that we need to learn, we'll continue to learn after the sun moves into Aries, which is exciting. I am here now, we would say to ourselves in Aries, but I still got to learn some of these lessons from the afterwash or the backwash of Pisces season. But it'll be cool because the flood will be over, but our minds will still be kind of like getting dragged out of the flood zone. And what we learn on the way will be really important. And so the reason why we bring up Chiron in Aries and Uranus in Taurus is that those are big planets that are going to have an effect for the next like 7 or 8 years or something. I mean, a good long period of time. So it's more so that those planets changing signs and being where they are now will come to define a longer period. And we're trying to use this Pisces season as a really great opportunity to dissolve the old structures of the old ways and relax and release into this new kind of Piscean prevailing order of relaxation, unity, and unification, and all this stuff, so that we can float into the new year, into spring, the astrological new year for, you know, witches and astrologers, and float into the spring, and float into this new era of Chiron and Aries and Uranus and Taurus. Chiron was in Pisces. Interesting. Okay, we don't have time to go into all of that. Love you guys so much. So what we're going to do next is give you some tarot readings through the elements for you. And we have a good old school Morgan Greer deck. This is one of my favorite old decks. We got to use this over the weekend at Soho House. It was really fun to do readings there. We'll be back again on the 9th if any of y'all are in LA and members. So basically, we're going to do this in the style of the Elements of Spirit, which is, we'll do an ether card first, which represents the space in which we find ourselves. And then we'll do a card for each of the elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And I'm going to tell you the signs that are associated with these elements as we go through, just in case you haven't understood or remembered that yet. And then the intention behind all of these questions is, what is the best way for this element to use this, you know, new moon, to harness the power of this new moon, how to approach it, how to think of it, you know, what to embody in terms of this new moon. Okay. And the ether will tell us about everyone. Yeah, great. It's the Knight of Swords reversed. Then we go into air, fire, water, and earth. Okay. So what this says to us, the Knight of Swords reversed, in terms of how best to harness the power of this lunation. Knight of Swords. That's the Knight of Swords. There he is reversed. Right? See him? So the idea here would be, imagine that, I don't know if you've ever experienced hallucinogens, but imagine that the waters of Pisces create a veil of illusion around you, and that veil has consciousness in it and is reflecting yourself back to you. And then let's say you're engaging that material that's reflecting itself back to you. If that material says to you, go do something crazy, theory would be in the back of your head that if you're having a hallucinatory experience, you always want to kind of remember, maybe it's not the best idea to just go do something crazy. Or just because something seems like a good idea doesn't mean you gotta go do it, okay? And so what this is really saying to us as the Knight of Swords is like, don't run out there guns blazing just because something occurred to you. Actually, you know what a nice way of saying this is, that for the sake of this new moon lunation is like, wait! Wait until the full moon. Wait until we go into spring. There's a certain amount of March 20th, right, when the equinox happens and the sun goes into Aries. There's a certain amount of just like, take a little more time than you think is necessary. P.S. This is also great advice for a Mercury retrograde, right? Is like, take a little more. Yes. Take a little more energy. Take a little more time to conserve your energy and sit with yourself and sit with the material that's coming at you and make sense of it. I think we actually already kind of said this to you earlier in this transmission, which is like, What is all of this stuff? What is my relationship to it? What this says is the best way to harness this lunation is really, yes, to have the intention of riding out as the Knight of Swords and doing something about all of this Piscean material, but to just slow your roll and sit with the material for a moment longer than you might think is necessary, and don't go riding out too crazy. My brilliant, brilliant cousin, the genius Annie Sertich, would say, you gotta sit in your shit, right? Sit in the material, trust the material. That's the idea, is that the waters of Pisces contain the healing magic. They're trying to bring the healing to you and at you, so go with them, go with the flow, go with the flow, go with the flow, and sit with the flow and see where the flow takes you. Okay. Love that. We're going to come back to that throughout all of these. Terms of the air children: Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. What this says is the best way for you to harness this lunation while you're sitting with the Pisces stuff is to not act so prim and proper. Remember that you're major, you've gotten, very far, you're very fierce, but that, the ocean can kick the ass of even the most seafaring, seaworthy individuals, right? The ocean can drown even the most time-tested sailors. So the thing here would be for you guys is to remember that you have some mojo under your belt and some, experience behind you, so that as you sit with the material of Pisces season, you are luxuriating in yourself, but also working. So it's funny, it actually has the energy of like a super, super, long time wealthy lady getting an extra job. Not because they want to, but because it seems like a good idea. It's so funny. Not because they want to, but because it seems like it would be helpful, like it would be supportive. So what I'm kind of oscillating with right here is this idea that, you're supposed to, in order to, while you're sitting with the material that Pisces is bringing up for you, sit and remember you are dignified, you are accomplished, you've gotten this far, you have all of this within you, you have all of this stuff behind you, but don't let that cause you to just stay seated and to just sit there luxuriating. There is action that wants to be taken in terms of giving yourself and in terms of generosity, in terms of sharing your wealth. Doesn't even have to be sharing your wealth with others. It could actually just be sharing your wealth with yourself. The point here, I think, is just as Pisces and as the ether card is telling you to sit with the material that's coming up and not move too quickly on it, this card is saying, because you're major, because you've gotten this far, because you don't actually have to do a lot, but you got to do something. You can't just sit with it and stare at it. It's important for you to keep the flow moving. Otherwise, you're going to end up like looking into a mirror until you drive yourself crazy. Even if you look gorgeous, even if you look fierce, it's like you're supposed to feel gorgeous and feel fierce and feel rich and feel accomplished, but not so much of all of those things that it causes you to just stay seated. You want to spread the wealth and share yourself. And I guess another way of saying this would be, another way of saying this would be to, be generous with what you've learned from your Pisces material, to keep a flow of, if I've learned, if I'm learning something about myself and the way that I think, act, feel, or am, the theory here would be to try to go out of your way to share that and to pay it forward and to spread that wealth rather than just remaining content to sit in your shit. Okay? Awesome. For the fire signs, it's actually the opposite. It's actually saying you've gotten, oh no, it's the same thing, but in a different way. It actually says deal with, it's the 8 of Cups, right? I'm trying to get the lighting angles for all of you guys. There you go. It's the 8 of Cups. And it says the best way for you to deal with this lunation is to sit with the material that Pisces is bringing to you, right? So sit with what's being reflected, the healing that's coming to you, the annoying stuff, the positive stuff, the beneficial stuff. And as you're developing your relationship to it, what you want to do is resolve to not get too comfortable and resolve to not just sit, right? And resolve to not just feel so great about your accomplishments, to feel great enough about your accomplishments that you're doing just a little bit all the time, that you're attending to, if you're in a state of balance, attending to what feels like it's out of balance. If you're in a state of imbalance, going in the direction that you think would make you feel better. So keep moving, keep flowing, keep checking in with how you feel as you're taking your time. Keep checking in with how you feel. Don't do anything too drastic, but take little moments, little motions, little actions, little steps that are based on how you're feeling or how you think you could be feeling better. Make sense? Okay, we're in the flow. We'll come back to that in a second. We're going on to the water signs right now. This says that as you, water babies, are sitting with the material of Pisces, not acting on it just because it seems like a good idea, sitting with it, letting it take its time, letting the natural cycles of the next couple weeks rise and then recede. The best way for you to work with this lunation is not in a micro way. So with the air babies, it was saying, remember how dignified and amazing you are, but don't be so dignified and amazing that it causes you to do nothing. Take some little steps, even if it feels like you're shaking up your basic sanctity. For the fire babies, it says, you've gotten this far, you've got this basic state of balance, but make sure that you don't get too comfortable here, that you move forward when it's time, that you step back when it's time, and that you make these little micro adjustments relative to the information that you're getting as Pisces season heads forward, the information about your healing and what you need as Pisces season goes forward. With the water signs, it's the, no, it's not the only upright, but with the water signs, it's a very direct statement. It's the Page of Rods. Page of Rods. Let's see, you guys. Page of Rods. Can you see? Page of Rods. Page of Rods. The Page of Rods just does what needs to be done without even really knowing if it's the right thing, if it's the best thing. Just goes for it. Just does it. Just takes the step, just takes the action, just does the thing that needs to be done based on what's coming to them out of the abyss. So there's something here with the water signs where it says, actually, don't be so precious. Don't just micro adjust. If you need to throw your weight behind a new crazy idea, go for it. Throw your weight behind it. And this is for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, okay? It just says that over the course of the next 2 weeks, you're waiting in dialogue with the Pisces energy, with the healing energy, with whatever's coming at you that you might rather not have to receive, whatever you're learning or feeling that you don't necessarily want to feel. This just says, don't think too much about it. Don't wait too long. Don't wait too hard. As soon as you get a clear message from the abyss, move and act on that message. As opposed to fire babies, where as the messages from the abyss become clearer and clearer and clearer, as you're starting to understand the material of this Pisces stuff over the course of the next 2 weeks, you don't have to make huge movements, but make tiny adjustments every time you feel something great or something not great. Every time you feel good and you want to keep feeling good, or you feel not good and you want to feel better. And then with the beautiful air babies, you stay connected to the material that's coming at you and basically just presume that you're okay and presume that things are going to be fine. And then just make sure you don't get stagnant. Just make sure you don't sit too comfortably. And that it's for this, it almost feels like wait a little while. And then when you have the energy and the wherewithal, then you make calculated moves to similar to what we're prescribing for the water babies. You make a calculated move, but you specifically make a calculated move in the direction of generosity. right? In the direction of sharing the wealth and sharing whatever you've learned from Pisces season, okay? Beautiful, beautiful Earth babies. How do you harness the lunation of the Pisces new moon, Mercury retrograde in Pisces for the next 2 weeks up until the full moon? Okay, so for you guys, it's more so like it's the King of Rods reversed. So it's the King of Rods so it's the King of Rods reversed. That's more like the Page of Rods. He's got more experience, more authority, more power, but he's reversed here. So it's saying you have so much authority, so much mojo, so much power. You don't have to use it all at once. If the King of Rods were, if the King of Rods were up right here, it would say, okay, as this stuff comes to you from, the abyss, as you make sense of the truth beneath the distorted visions of Pisces season, once something becomes clear, conquer, do everything you got to do, take over the world, blow everything up, make it all happen, make it all go down, right? It's like, that's if it was upright. So in this case, the reminder is you are the King of Rods. You have what you need inside of you to blow everything up, to take everything over. And it's almost like as stuff becomes clear to you, as you welcome in new healing, as you welcome in new challenges, as you welcome in new opportunities through these waters of Pisces, the reminder is you are the King of Rods. You are the master of actions. You are the king of fire, the king of control, the king of activity. But maybe remind yourself of that without having to act like that, without having to be so intense. Remind yourself that you could conquer the entire land if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to. So in your case, it's about acting as though you're in charge, as though you are dominant, without having to enforce that dominance, without having to push that dominance on anyone. Okay? But in general, remember that the first thing is this Ether card, the Knight of Swords reversed, telling us all to sit with the material of the next couple weeks because nothing is quite as it seems. And Mercury is low-key guiding our intentions and attention in the direction of clusterfucks, in the direction of messing things up so that we get even more of this Pisces medicine. So we're learning to find our centers through disorientation right now, right? Especially the last couple of weeks, especially these next couple of weeks. Learning to find our centers through disorientation, not through clarity, through disorientation, not through Aquarius, right? Which was all about seeing the connection between all things. Or, this is actually about being connected to all things. So it's much harder to see. It's much less clear, but it serves a very important function. Stuff comes up intuitively, psychically, magically, out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, holy shit, I'm different. I dealt with that. I looked at that. I worked with that. And now I've changed. I'm a different human. I'm a different person. That's what Pisces season can bring us. That's what these rising waters actually do. Chic. Wow. It feels like a million years when we do this with you. It's only been 33 minutes and 33 seconds. But it's like, whoa, the vortex happens and we just lose track of time. But we're fine. Wow, this is cool, you guys. Okay. Fun, 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 fun. Okay, in this area. Okay. In the following area. Okay, so PS. One of the things that we want to do for you, especially for you experienced subscribers, but also to anyone else who's interested, is one of the things we want to do is put some permanent content out here, some little things in the highlights and on the website about how-tos, right? How to create sacred space. So remembering that when we do ritual and when we give you the info and the guidance about doing ritual, the main point is to open up sacred space. And when you open up sacred space with the attention and intention of aligning with celestial, frequency or happening, what happens in sacred space is that you effectively transcend space and time. So you create sacred space you define your space and you define the now so that you can move freely in the now, so that you can move freely throughout all space and time, right? And so when we open sacred space and then set the intention to align with something like a new moon, we create a magical affinity. And exchange happens. And through our rituals and our offerings and our candle lightings and our deep breaths and whatever else you like to do to connect during ritual, we send energy and we receive energy. We honor the moon and the moon sends us mojo. We honor Mother Earth and Mother Earth sends us mojo. It's an exchange, right? So ways of creating sacred space, love to teach these: get grounded, connect to Mother Earth, protect yourself, surround yourself in white light or a three-dimensional protective shape of your choosing. Center yourself by calling on the cardinal points of the compass, the 7 directions: north, south, east, west, above, below, and in the center. Generally saying thank you to everything and anything that you encounter as you're opening and creating sacred space. Making offerings. Having stand-ins for all the elements, which we have here, candle, sage, crystals for earth, whatever your representations are of those elements. The whole point is that you are creating an intersectional space and time that allows you to transcend and move above and beyond all space and all time. And then you're setting the intention to connect with the new moon in Pisces. And wow, okay, cool. I wasn't even expecting that either. So then what you're going to do is you're going to fill a big a bowl or glass with water. I would even say like a snifter would be ideal, or like a clear glass bowl. You're going to drink the water, so not too big unless you can handle it. And then the theory is that you'll do a little bit of homework once you can do it once you've opened sacred space. You can do it, after you've opened sacred space. But the homework is going to be to write down, I intend to direct the healing waters of Pisces into the following area of my life. And we would ask you to only pick one area of your life, an area of your life in which you could use healing and you don't necessarily know what you need, right? An area of your life in which it might be useful to have the waters of Pisces come in flood everything, and then as time passes, recede and reveal new integrity that you didn't necessarily know was there, and that you couldn't necessarily have gotten to unless you welcomed in this wateriness of Pisces. P.S. Pisces water is coming in and doing this anyway, but when we do this inside our sacred space, we formalize this relationship and we say, cool, I'm open to Pisces doing this, to this area of my life. General areas of life: love, life, work, relationships, family, friends, self, relationship with self, psychic gifts, powers, intuition, sense of purpose in the world, whatever it is. I intend to direct the healing waters of Pisces into the following areas of my life. And P.S., remembering that it is also possible to create sacred space with 3 or more really, really deep breaths. But in general, we like those 5 steps of getting grounded, getting centered, shielding and protecting yourself, opening up yourself to the universe with 3 deep breaths, and clearing your energy, clearing the space of whatever's going on. Those are our kind of 5 steps that we use to create sacred space. But whatever you do, setting the intention to create sacred space will be just right. Setting the intention to connect with the new moon in Pisces and to do ritual to honor the new moon in Pisces, filling that big bowl of water that you will be drinking, setting it in front of you, in front of your altar or in your ritual space, wherever you're doing ritual. And then I intend to direct the healing waters of Pisces into the following areas of my life. And then you can just think about that area of your life, right? As you hold the bowl of water, think about that area of your experience, that area of your life as you hold the bowl of water, whether it's professional, romantic, existential, spiritual, mystical. I don't know. That's all I got. You're holding it and you're imagining just the people, places, and things from this area of your experience, never directly influencing someone, just allowing yourself to go into this area where you are welcoming the healing waters of Pisces without necessarily knowing what you need in those areas. And then you put the bowl down and bow to the heart. And then you pick the bowl back up. Or wait, you would say, I ask to reveal new boundaries and structures in the following area of my life. So it could be the same area, could be a different area. You're allowed to make it however you want to make it. I ask to reveal new boundaries and structures in the following area. In my relationships, in my professional relationships, in my, scheduling, in my empathizing, in my selfless service. And you hold your bowl of water, just imagining the areas in which you'd like more boundaries, better structures. So the general aspect of this is that in the first visualization, you're welcoming in everything, including dissolving frequencies. Oh. Okay, sorry, no, I was wrong. So there's the first one is when you don't know what you need. Then into the healing waters of Pisces. Then I ask to reveal new boundaries. I ask the healing waters of Pisces, to reveal new boundaries. And then I ask the healing water of Pisces to dissolve old structures, outmoded structures, right? Outmoded structures in the following area. Okay. This is how it happens when we channel. We can just give you what we can give you when it comes to us, and then we find out what it all means in the end. So let's see. So is this the direction to do it? Yeah, for whatever reason, they want us to do this because they want us to actually go from, I don't know what I need, so I intend to direct the healing waters of Pisces into the following area of my life, not knowing what I need. I ask the healing waters of Pisces to reveal new boundaries and structures in the following area. And then I ask the healing waters of Pisces to dissolve old structures in the following area. And the reason why we're keeping it simple is because we want you to be able to check back with this. So generally, personally, I would rather do strong work on one thing at a time than vague general work on 17 things at a time. So the idea with this is that you're going to, once you state these things clearly, you say, in the dark light of the Pisces moon, so mote it be. So mote it be, and so it is, etc., etc. And then you can either burn your list and flush the ashes, tear the list into pieces and flush the paper, or take the whole thing. And for some reason, I'm liking the idea of burning the list and flushing the ashes, burning the list and releasing the ashes to water, releasing the ashes to water. Okay, cool. And then you back out of the sacred space and you say thank you to the new moon, and you say thank you to all your guides, and you say thank you to all of the energies that you worked with. Thank you to all the directions. Thank you to your sacred space. Thank you to your heart. Thank you to all of the powers that be. And then you declare your new moon ritual over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it and so it is. So we give you these things because we're trying to remind you that any ritual is good ritual, right? Stopping, pausing, taking 3 deep breaths, reminding yourself that there's a new moon, and welcoming whatever the best aspects of that new moon into your life to transform it for the better. That's enough. That would be a ritual. If we all did that, we would be a lot more aligned with the cycles. So just if you ever get overwhelmed, or if things come out here in a sort of spiralized, rambly way, and you have a better idea for how to activate this ritual, please use it. Need you to remember that we are a channel, right? We're definitely not a master. We're a channel. We're connecting with the energies and the forces and the masters to bring you the good. But we are all recipients of the good. So if you get the good coming through this channel and you want to run with it, nothing would make us happier. That's why we're here, right? In general, I mean, exclusively, we work with white light, magic, all sorts of colors of light, but with white magic, light magic in service of the light. So that means that unless you go doing something totally crazy, coercive, violating others' free wills, doing things that are based more on your own kind of material, egoic needs as opposed to love. Oftentimes, you can manifest the money you need through doing a spell by shifting the intention, as opposed to just getting the money to have it. If you remember and articulate the kind of highest frequency of service that requires the money that you're seeking, that's a wonderful white magic way of getting the money that you need. And then a lot of times you don't even actually need that money. You actually need something. Oh, this is very Pisces. It's very like opening up to not knowing what I need and trusting that the universe is going to give me exactly what I need in order to do what I need to do. We are always trying to create rituals with you and for you that already have that kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, that closed circuit between you and the universe loaded into it. So English translation, like basically idiot proof, unless you have some kind of vengeance within you to cause people harm or to get everything you want at the expense of anyone and everyone else. But at the end of the day, plenty of people are given technology and tools. It's not the tool maker who can control how the tool is used. It's the person who's using the tool. So all of that is to say that these rituals are designed and channeled in the moment as guidelines, as suggestions for you to not just do a ritual today, but over time gain a sense of what one does when they do ritual to honor the new moon, full moon, etc., etc. If you all are watching and you are followers of the That's So Retrograde universe, we're going to be on the show. I believe it's going to air next week, but we're going to be taping on Thursday the 7th from 2 to 3:30 LA time. So I don't actually know the number for you to call there, but if you follow the So Retrograde girls or know them or whatever, go into their feed and stay subscribed to Edible Spirit, and we'll send you information if we have it about how to connect and get a read. But otherwise, the next big thing that's coming down the pike for the Edible Spirit experience is the spring equinox mood board and live community ritual. We did the winter solstice ritual live and for the general public. Unfortunately, for the general public, this equinox ritual will be for experienced subscribers only. We may send you little snippets of the mood board, but if you want to participate in that group ritual, then you got to sign up for the experience. And you can do that through the link tree in our Edible Spirit Instagram. You can also find everything you need at ediblespirit.com. I think we're done. We're going to take a moment and light some sage. And give great thanks to you. Great thanks to this moment and great thanks to the new moon. Ooh, hello. That was cool. It burned my slip. And we're going to welcome in the healing waters of Pisces to do what they need to do. Welcoming in the healing waters of Pisces to reveal structures that were previously obscured. Welcoming in the healing waters of Pisces to dissolve structures that no longer serve the highest good of all involved with harm to none. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And this transmission is complete. Sending you love. Ooh, this went out. Sending you love and sage. Thanks for being here, everyone. Love you so much. You're so damn delicious. This is fun. Ending this one. Love you guys. Oh, love you guys. And ending. Oh, love you, Angel. Ending this one. And we're going to end you.